Phases of the moon. We are embarking on a fascinating view of the night sky. When you see the sky every night, you will see the moon changes its shape. Sometimes you will see the moon in this shape, sometimes in this shape, sometimes in this shape, sometimes in this shape. The moon will be always changing the shape. So why does the moon change the shape? And each of the shape, we call it a phase of the moon. This shape is one phase of the moon. This shape is another phase of the moon. This shape is another phase of the moon. So these are different shapes or phases of the moon, and note the spelling of phases. It is not F-A-S-E-S, it is not F-A-C-E-S, it is P-H-A-S-E-S. Note the spelling. Each of the shapes, we call it one particular phase. So different shapes of the moon or different phases of the moon. Why does the moon change the shape? Now here we can see a face. Can you see the difference? The difference is here we have more light and here we have less light. And here we have absolutely no light. And that is why we are seeing only half of the face. You are not seeing the full face. You are seeing only the half of the face. Why? Because here we have light. The light is coming here, but here no light is coming. Here you don't have a light. So when you don't have any light, you cannot see this half of the face. So the light falls on one half of the face, you can see. The light does not fall on the other half of the face, so you cannot see. So this half of the face, you can see. This you can see because the light falls. And this you cannot see because the light does not fall here. The only part of the face is visible when light falls on only one half of the face. The light is falling only on this half. The light is not falling on this half. We cannot see the part of the face that is not lit. The part of the face not receiving any light, you cannot see, but the face has not changed. It is what you see has changed. What you see is changing. You see only one half, but the face has not become half. The face is still the same face, but you cannot see because there is no light. Similarly, the moon, you cannot see a part of the moon because the light does not fall on it, and you can see a part of the moon because a light falls on it. The moon will not change in shape. The visible part of the moon will change. The part which you see will change, but the moon will be always round. But sometimes you can see one part of the moon and you cannot see the other part of the moon. So what you see will change. The total moon will not change. So why we see the moons changing shapes? Some facts we have to know. The moon is a satellite. That means it moves around the planet. It is not a star. Only stars have light. Sun is a star. Sun is a star. It has light. Moon has no light of its own because the moon is not a star. It is lit up by the sun. What you see as moonlight is actually the light of the sun. The moon orbits the planet Earth. It goes round the Earth. This is the Earth. And the moon will travel round the Earth. This is called orbiting the Earth, going round the Earth. The light of the sun will light up different parts of the moon at different times of the month. And you will see only the lighted part of the moon. You will not see the unlit part of the moon. So it will seem as if the moon is changing the shape. The moon is not changing the shape. What is changing is the part which you can see. Sometimes you can see only a little, sometimes you can see more, sometimes you can see the full moon, see the moon at all. So it depends on whether the light falls on the moon or not. It is just our view of the moon, how much you see, how much part is lighted and how much you see, how much part is in the dark and you do not see. So that will change, your view will change. Now we have the moon. See, there is the moon and going round the earth. There is the moon which is going round the earth. This is called orbiting. And this is the sun which is giving you light. So at some time, the moon is fully lit and you can see the full moon. And sometimes you cannot see the full moon. You can see only half moon. And sometimes you can see a little part of the moon. And sometimes you cannot see the moon at all. So according to that, what part of the moon you can see? You can have a new moon when you cannot see. You can have a crescent. You can have half moon, that's a quarter. You can have a gibbous, that is more than half. And you can have a full moon. Again, you can have a gibbous. You can have a half moon, that is a third quarter or last quarter. You can have a crescent. And you can have again a new moon. So new moon, crescent, half moon, gibbous, that is more than half, full moon. Then again the reverse change, gibbous, half moon, crescent, and then again new moon. Waxing means increasing. Here we have the moon, the visible part of the moon increases, waxing. And this is waning, the visible part is decreasing, waning. So there is also a crescent, but the moon is going to grow in size. And this is also a crescent, but the crescent is going to decrease into a full darkness. So increasing in size means waxing and decreasing in size means waning. So from new moon to full moon it is waxing, increasing, and from full moon to new moon it is decreasing or waning. The 8 phases of the moon are: new moon, when you cannot see the moon at all. Waxing crescent means you see as a thin crescent. What you are seeing is thin crescent. First quarter, that is half moon. Waxing gibbous, gibbous means almost full but less than full, more than half and less than full. Waxing means it is getting bigger. Full moon, completely lit up by the sun. The waning gibbous, now the size is going to decrease. So again gibbous, but the moon is going to become smaller and smaller. Waning means getting smaller. So again it is 3/4 of a moon. The third quarter, that means again you see the half moon. And lastly, again crescent. You see it as a crescent. Again the same crescent. And then we get a new moon again. So we have full moon, then crescent, then half moon, then full gibbous, then full moon. This is waxing, increasing in size. Now we are waning, decreasing in size. Full moon to gibbous, to half moon, to crescent, and then once again new moon. So from new moon to full moon, it's about 14 days. And from full moon to new moon, again it is 14 days. So making a total 28 days. This period, this cycle of 28 days is called a lunar month. The period of 28 days is called a lunar month. So this is new moon and this is full moon. This is a crescent, this is a crescent. But this is waxing crescent, means the moon is going to increase in size and here the moon is going to decrease in size. This is half moon, this is also half moon, but waxing and waning. From now onwards it's going to increase in size and from hereafter it's going to decrease in size, but both the cases you see half moon. gibbous. Waxing means it's going to increase in size, and gibbous waning means it is going to decrease in size. So there is a crescent, there is a half moon. Gibbous means almost full but not completely full. That means 3/4, or you can say between half and full. So we start from new moon 0 days. After about 3.5 days, you will see crescent. After 7 days, you will see half moon. After about 10.5 days, you will see gibbous. And after 14 days, you will see full moon. This is waxing, increasing in size. Now decreasing in size, waning. Now we get waning. We got 14 days, then 17.5 days, again gibbous. But now it is going to decrease. In 21 days, you get half moon. Again about 24.5 days, you get crescent. And after 28 days, again back to new moon. So we see new moon, then crescent, then half moon, then gibbous, then full moon. This is waxing or increasing in size, then decreasing in size, gibbous, half moon, crescent, new moon, the total cycle being 28 days, or what we call a lunar month. So the moon does not change the shape. What changes is the part of the moon we can see and the part of the moon we cannot see. This is what is changing. Sometimes you can see a large part of the moon, and sometimes large part of the moon is not lit up by the sun. You cannot see. You can see only a small part of the moon. So how much of the moon you can see will change, but the total moon will be always round in shape. So the change of shape or the phases of the moon will depend on how much of the moon is lighted up by the sunlight. So that was about phases of the moon. Thank you and goodbye.